Started off with the main event, the welterweight championship of the world. Leon Edwards coming in to defend the title at minus 165, going up against Colby Covington, sitting at plus 135. Over under 4.5 rounds, minus 240 for the over, plus 200 for the under. A lot of people, I'm sure, are going to be looking to take Colby Covington as an underdog because there's a lot of hype around his return. He's been off for 21 months, and now he steps in for a championship fight. Leon Edwards defended the title back in March against Kamaru Usman, and he's going to try to defend it here against Colby. See the age difference there? Leon Edwards still younger by 3 years, a couple inches in height advantage and a couple inches in reach. And the man, Leon Edwards, has not lost a fight in a very long time. So at minus 165, it's interesting. What are you thinking on this one?
Yeah, first of all, there's not a better way, in my opinion, to end the year and have this as the very last fight before a nearly a month-long break. But, man, there's so much on each side that could play factors. I mean, Colby Covington, you mentioned it. He's been off for like 21 months. But Leon's not exactly like the most active guy as a champion or as a fighter either. I think since 2019, he's fought 4 times, 2021, once last year and once this year in March. So he's not the most active either. His last 2 fights, Kamaru Usman, gave Kamaru his first loss in 15 fights, head kick knockout, but he was losing that fight up until that moment. And then he goes into the I guess, trilogy for the belt again over in England, and he beats him by majority decision in a very, very closely contested fight. Kamaru got that wrestling style with a good jab and some very, very technical striking. And, I look at Colby and Kamaru very similarly. I think the wrestling is outstanding. Their striking is technical and good. But the one difference in Colby and Kamaru in the striking department is Colby's like a wild animal in there. This dude's just going to come at you with all this volume. He's going to land some big shots. He's going to pressure you. He's going to be in your face the whole time. Where Kamaru's kind of more methodical as he tries to use the jab and the striking to enter in to get a takedown. Colby's just, his nickname says it perfectly, chaos in there. I think that's the one thing that could get to Leon Edwards in this fight. If he gets him up against the cage and he starts landing good combinations and ripping the body and then shooting takedowns and making Leon defend, or getting the takedown and making Leon trying to get back to his feet. And you just got to hope Leon slows down and tires out a little bit, because we all know Colby Covington, maybe the best cardio in the game. The guy is insane with it. For Leon, though, they say you get 30% better once you become champion, and he definitely showed a massive leap in I don't even want to say skill because he's got it, but the fight with Kamaru Usman, their third fight, he looked so much better throughout the whole fight in that one than he did in the prior, the one where he won by head kick. So he's made improvements, obviously. Striking department, more technical. The kicks are phenomenal. He's probably going to have the edge in power on the feet. He's going to have the edge in accuracy. But he's not the most volume-based striker. He throws a good 1-2. He throws that great kick. He brings it up high and he catches guys with it. But, he's only landing 2.8 significant strikes per minute. And that's relatively low compared to Colby's 4.10. So there's going to be a little bit of volume difference there. And, if Leon isn't landing the big shots and Colby's landing a lot of volume and a lot of pressure, I just think that looks better to the judges. But there's always the chance that Leon comes out and cracks the chin and gets the knockout here too, because he's done it to Kamaru Usman, a guy who's never been knocked out like that in his life. He's done it to other guys where he just catches dudes right and they fall. And I don't think Colby's any different. We've seen Colby hurt before. We've seen him get hit before and dropped. And if guys like Kamaru are doing it, I could see Leon doing it as well. For the pick, I'm going with chaos. I like the pressure. I like the style here. Donald Trump's going to be in the stands. Colby is going to be coming out wanting to get that win there. He seems to feed off the pressure. He feeds off the crowd. And I think it just lights a jolt under him and he goes out there and gets it done. But it's not a confident pick by any means at all, because these are two of the very best. And Leon Edwards is very capable of, completely knocking Colby out or winning a decision too. So it's going to be a very fun fight.
Yeah, I don't think there's any secrets about what both fighters want to do in this one. Leon wants to keep it on the feet and use his striking. Colby wants to grind on him and basically just, be chaos in there, what he does, and probably chain wrestle. Don't give him any space and just be kind of a wet blanket on him. Probably going to look to, get a bunch of takedowns, let him up, drop him again, wear him out so he can take over later in the fight. You mentioned Leon Edwards not being super active, and I mentioned it on the Anik podcast, but the Leon Edwards, for the fact that he didn't take the fight in July, because that was when the UFC was going back to England, and Colby wanted to make that the pay-per-view and make that the fight there. Leon didn't want it. I think that was smart of him, because I don't like the fast turnarounds for these champions when they come, off a big win and then they got to turn around in 3 or 4 months. I just don't like it. So I think that was smart of him to take the time off and come back, 9 months later and be really prepared to take on Colby Covington, because it's not going to be an easy fight by any means. Any fighter that's in there with Colby, you got to be ready for 5 rounds. You got to be ready to deal with that type of pressure. For Colby, I think he could probably look at the fight with Kamaru and Leon and take a different approach with his takedowns. Kamaru was kind of like a single leg guy, and Leon defended those single legs very well. And I don't think Colby's going to, look to do that. I think he would probably look to shoot more double legs, maybe even switch to from a double leg and then try to take the back on the feet and then drag him down to the ground that way. I could see that happening for Leon. Having those fights with Kamaru and being able to stuff 11 of 15 takedowns against Kamaru probably gives him a lot of confidence going into this one. And I like the fact that he's had those rounds with Kamaru going up against Colby, because Leon is kind of a sniper and, like you said, kind of low volume. And he picked his shots very nicely against Kamaru. In this one, I think he's got to pick his shots even better, because if he doesn't, then it could turn into a judge's decision, and it gets very subjective. He's not in England anymore, where he might have a little bit of the crowd more on his side. I would expect the crowd to be on Colby's side in this one, fighting in Las Vegas. And, a lot of people are from America and they want to see the American champ. So Leon Edwards, he has very good counter striking. And we saw it when I watched back Colby's fights with Jorge Masvidal, with Kamaru. He can get countered pretty easily. So that scares me on the Covington side, because he can get caught. He got dropped twice by Kamaru, basically got dropped by Jorge with that right hand, took a knee. He said it was for the troops, but definitely got cracked with that one. And Masvidal just super aged. Like, watching that fight on the feet, how it played out on the feet, I wasn't impressed with Colby whatsoever. I know he still got the win. I know it was a clear win for Colby, but Leon's a different animal on the feet. Much younger, much faster, much longer. And I just think Leon, with the skill set he possesses, should be able to get it done. And, Colby's only getting older. With the layoff, I don't think he's going to come in here looking like some different type of fighter. He's going to be the same Colby Chaos Covington that we know. So coming in here, I think Leon, as the champion, should be able to get it done. I think he could find a knockout as well. At the price, like, you're getting Leon defending the title at minus 145, minus 150. I don't think it's terrible. So the pick for me will be Leon Edwards, expecting and still. You got anything else on that one?
Who do you think the UFC would benefit more from a win here, Colby or Leon?
Definitely Colby, but I sometimes it doesn't work out for him.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I was just curious.
Yeah. I don't think they really lose either way, but
Right.
definitely, if Colby beats him, that's for sure a win for the UFC by all means. But
yeah, because Colby's a draw always, but at the same time, the UFC wants champions from other countries to build fan bases and to have big cards overseas. So yeah, lose for the UFC. But man, dude, I just have a feeling we're in for a wild ass fight in this one.
Yeah, it should be chaos for sure, and I'm looking forward to it.